Welcome back, guys. So as promised, today I will be sharing another story time with you all, and I actually tried to record this video yesterday, but I went to turn on my computer to, record, and my power went out. And the only possible conclusion that I came to as to why this happened was that the universe does not want me to record this video, which is too bad because now I'm recording it out of spite. So anyways, this is the story of the time I tried to audition for a musical. Now, something that tends to really surprise people whenever I first tell them is that I actually really enjoy performing in front of people and doing various stuff involving drama and stuff. And a lot of people are really surprised about this because I'm extremely quiet and reserved in real life, and I don't really like talking to people at all. But that's just, always been a passion of mine. And at my old school, I would do a lot of these musicals. Every year we'd do a musical and I would audition. I would usually get like a pretty significant, like the main part, if not like one of the main parts. And I would dance, I would sing, I would do all these sorts of stuff with minimal fear of anything, just like super great experiences. After this, I moved to my new school, which had significantly less emphasis on a drama department, and they did barely anything when it came to drama type things. So there was a significant period of time where I did not do musicals, except for like small drama performances or like one-on-one stuff in drama club or related activities. So I had not sang by myself in front of people in many, many years or done any sort of choreography or anything like that. So anyways, a couple years ago, my mom came up to me and she's like, "Hey, Jabek, I just found out that this local theater is doing a musical this summer, and it sounds like a really good opportunity for you to audition and be in a musical again." And I'm like, wow, that sounds like a really great idea. And so I contact my former teacher that was one of the people that was on this whole audition panel, and I was like, "Hey, I'd really like to try out for your play." And she's like, "That's awesome." And then on the day of the audition, she's like, "We're so excited to have you at our theater. Do you have your song and dance number prepared?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, you have to prepare a song to sing in front of everyone. And you also have to learn and memorize this entire dance number by tonight." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, no big deal. I've done this before. I've sang for auditions, I've danced for auditions, no big deal." So I'm like, okay, I gotta find a song to perform in front of these people. And so I'm sifting through like the minimal music that I have, and I find this one song, and I'm like, okay, this song's pretty groovy. I really enjoy it, so I'll just sing this. And I looked for maybe 2 seconds at the song, and I was like, okay, got the lyrics, we're good to go. I'll figure it out when I get there. So then I try to learn the dance number, and it is the most complicated thing I've ever tried to perform. Like any choreography I had done in the past was apparently very minimal because this was extremely complicated. And I'm like sitting in my living room, like waving my arms around. I probably look like an idiot trying to learn this whole choreography thing. And I'm like, you know what? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So I show up to this audition with like minimally prepared song and no dance routine. And I'm like, it's okay. I'll just wing it, This is something that is feasibly possible for me to perform with the utmost accuracy despite not being prepared at all. So the first thing that we did was start practicing this whole dance routine. And basically the whole thing consisted of a series of incredibly complicated moves and all this sorts of crazy stuff, and then it ended with a spin, and then you do a little bit of jazz hands at the end. So we start practicing, and I actually catch on pretty fast, and I end up memorizing all of the moves, and I was able to perform it in practice 100% accurate. And so they're like, "Okay, everyone, we're gonna start the auditions now." So they separate us off into several different groups, and they call my group up, and they're like, "Okay, guys, time to perform the dance." So the music starts, we all get ready, and I blank on everything. It was terrible. I was standing in the middle of all of these people who are like, doing all these crazy dance moves, and I think some of them even improvised a little bit, and I'm sitting there in the middle like, wow, these guys are pretty good at dancing. Would you look at that? And it was awful, and everyone was obviously staring at the kid in the middle who's just not doing any of the dance moves. And so the song ends, and the only move that I hit was the spin and the jazz hands at the end. Man, I tell you, I nailed that part. And so I made eye contact with one of the judges, and they were just staring at me with a look of like disbelief. And also I think they found it pretty funny, which is, I guess okay. I guess that's good. I'd rather them find it funny than embarrassing, which is certainly what I was feeling. So anyways, we sit back down. And then we move on to the singing section. And they're like, okay, everyone, you can either sing your own song or perform an excerpt of this one song from the play. And the song from the play was significantly easier, definitely within my range and everything. And I was like, all these losers are trying to sing this song from the play, but I'm gonna be quirky and different and sing my own song. So I went up to sing my song as a solo in front of everyone. And I had two realizations as I came up there. Realization number one, as the piano started playing, I suddenly realized that this song was written for a soprano. And in case you haven't noticed, for a woman, I have a pretty low voice. And my voice sounds very terrible if I try to sing anything above an alto part. And so the song starts going and I'm just like, I can't sing these notes with a nice sound. And so I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I'll just sing it mediocrely. It's fine. We'll get through it. Realization number two. In the period of time that I had not performed in musicals, I had developed an extreme case of stage fright, none of which was apparent to me until I came up to do this audition. Now, something that normally happens when you get stage fright is your voice kind of shakes a little bit, which is kind of inconvenient if you're trying to speak or anything. But if you're trying to sing, it's a whole different ballpark because now you're singing notes that you never intended to sing. So I'm singing with the shrilliest, shakiest voice imaginable, and everyone is just staring at me. Of course, that makes me more nervous, which then makes my voice shake more, and it was just, I could tell at that moment, it was just a disaster. I'm like, I don't even know how we're gonna recover from this one, boys. And so the song ends, I just give a big smile, and I'm like, okay, can I go back to my seat now? And the piano accompanist leans over to me, and she's like, what vocal part do you normally sing? And I'm like, I'm an alto. And she's like, interesting. And then sends me back to my seat. And I sit down and I'm just like, I can never show my face here again. I'm not going to be in this musical. I do not want these people to ever see me again. We're just, this is the end. I'm never coming back here. And so I leave, I go home, and I'm just like, okay, we're not showing up there again, definitely. And so I go to school the next day and it's all I can think about. It's like, no one can know of the atrocities that I just committed the day before. So I'm going throughout my day, and then my phone gets a notification. And it's like, hello, Jabek. We sincerely loved your audition and we'd like to have you for a callback tonight. Please come ready to dance and sing. And I'm like, heck no. So I just straight up emailed them back and was like, oh, I'm terribly sorry, but I just realized that this entire summer I have something going on every single day. I am so sorry. I will not be able to make it to any of the practices whatsoever. Good day to you. And I never showed up for my callback. That was it. I never showed up to that theater ever again. Thankfully, at my school, we've in the recent years done plays, which I have been able to be in. No singing involved, and it was actually really fun. I've kind of gotten over my stage fright, but I tested this out the other day. I still cannot sing in front of people for whatever reason. My voice just stops working. And so the moral of this story is, before you try to do something in front of a large crowd of people, ensure that you are physically and mentally capable of completing this action to a high degree of accuracy before you embarrass yourself in front of a ton of people like I did. That's the lesson I'm sending you home with today. I hope you guys enjoyed that story a lot more than I did experiencing it. And if you would like to hear me tell more stories like that one, I've linked my Skywars Storytime playlist where you can sit there and watch me tell stories till your heart's content. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed and you have an amazing day, and I will see you guys next time.